Solutions. I'm Jean Newell, your host, and with me in the studios today is my co-host, Jonathan Lack. Welcome, Jonathan. We're here to tell everybody about real estate.
Well, thank you for having me back, Jean, and it seems like the weeks just fly by.
They do, and of course our motto is we share everything about real estate from foreclosures to Feng Shui. We just love that. And if you don't know what Feng Shui is, you'll have to look that up and also tune in to Elaine Bartlett, who is on the same station. And she's on, I believe, Wednesdays with the Purple Portal. And she's a Feng Shui expert as well as other things. So that's a really great show to listen to as well. So we're very excited to have our show starting again in October. This is, well, almost October. We're about the first or second day into autumn right now. And wow, we have been busy. Have you noticed that, Jonathan, that it seems like our season is starting just a tad earlier than it usually does?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of new contracts come across my desk. So, of course,
Yes.
That's a good sign.
Normally, we don't see a lot of activity till a little later on in the year, closer to November and December, when we welcome our snowbirds down from Canada and the northeast of USA, and they're here to look at real estate and property, and they are enjoying our nice warm weather when they've come down, usually from the snow. But I've noticed that our summer was slower than normal, but now it's picked up, and it's like faster. It's coming in, the season is starting a little faster. So we're going to talk today about insurance, and we're going to have Ray Campbell on in just a few minutes, and he's going to talk about Florida insurance and the things that you need to know, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about when you get insurance and what kind of insurance you need and so forth. So we'll be interviewing Ray here in a few moments. But just to talk a little bit about what Jonathan Lack does, because I love having him as my co-host because he's a wealth of information. I'm just a lowly real estate broker, but associate. But Jonathan wears three hats. He has the real estate lawyer hat, and he is a owner of Lack and Lack Chartered Attorneys at Law, and you specialize in real estate. Also, you are the owner of Waterview Title Services here in the Indian-Atlantic, Florida area, and as well as the broker of Waterview Realty. So I always say this, and you tell me that there might be other people, but until they come forward, I am telling everyone you are the only person that I know that is both a real estate attorney, a real estate broker, and owns their own title company. If there is somebody else out there, we don't know about them. So it's great because you can answer all kinds of questions about real estate.
And I do want to say, Jean, you are hardly a lowly broker associate, but rather a valued broker associate who brings great energy to our firm.
Oh, well, thank you. My specialty for many, many years was in new home construction. And that was something I really enjoyed when I moved up here in 1980. I kind of specialized in golf course communities and various waterfront communities for builders. But that has been a great wealth of information, because now when I'm showing property, and I've been here since 1980, so I think that math was that 36 years? Mm-hmm. I think so. And I'm showing property, and I can go back in the records and find out who built that, and it's pretty easy to find that out. I have a kind of an inside track because I know there were some very great builders over the 36 years, and there was some not so good. Mm-hmm. So knowing that information helps me on resales, because if someone's buying a house or looking at a home that perhaps that builder did not have a great reputation, that's great knowledge that they need to know, because there's been some homes, and I have seen them, where they actually came as a kit, Jonathan. They would drop off the entire house on the lot. And they actually came as a kit. And of course, they weren't concrete block. They were, I think that was called T111 or something. It was a certain kind of a board on the outside. But you could take a pen and stick it through the wall. That's how lightweight that was. And I remember that particular builder. He's not around anymore. The reputation was just terrible. So when I see that builder's name come up on these homes that are for sale, I go, no. We're not even going to be interested in that home to purchase. So
and that's more than just a fixer-upper, I'm guessing.
Yes. I know one of my friends had purchased one of those homes earlier before I had a chance to stop them. And they would tell me during storms, their windows would just fall out of the side of the house. So, so having a little bit of history kind of pays off sometimes. Us old timers, you know.
Knowledge and experience comes with, knowledge comes with experience.
That's right.
So the more years you have in the business, the more you've seen, the more you know, and the more better you can advise your clients.
That's right. And of course, we're both up here from South Florida. And we welcome all of our South Florida listeners. We're going to be doing some special things down there in South Florida. Let's chat about that a little bit, John, of what we kind of plan on doing. We have a name for our new procedure.
Right. Well, what we're doing, we have Waterview Realty Services as well as the Law Office of Lac and Lac Chartered. We have an office in the South Florida area. The office is in Pompano Beach, Florida, but we handle what they call the Tri-County area of Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. And as you and I both know, there's been a migration for many years now, but a migration from the South Florida area to the Central Florida, especially on the East Coast of Brevard County, where we are located. And Broward County is in the center of the Tri-County area. So we've come up with the phrase building a bridge, or bridging the gap
or bridging the map or something.
Something to that effect. Bridging the gap between Broward and Brevard County. So for those who are moving up from the South Florida area to the Central Florida, East Coast of Central Florida, we can assist you with the sale of your home down there and purchasing a home here.
And that, for those that might be listening from another area, the South Florida market, it tends to be a little bit higher in price than the Brevard County area. What would you estimate? Anywhere from, say, 35 to 65% higher in some cases?
Yeah, it's noticeable.
Mm-hmm. So those people where I grew up in Fort Lauderdale back in the day, as they said, and it was actually in Fort Lauderdale back in the 50s and 60s, it was known as they not only brought the sidewalks in at 5 o'clock, everything closed up during the summertime because it didn't have a lot of air conditioning. So there weren't a lot of places that were open, and the people that had restaurants would have a restaurant, say, up in Michigan during the summer and a restaurant down in Fort Lauderdale in the winter. So things just closed up in the summertime. So it was a very much of a very low-keyed suburban, what you call it, kind of a beachy town that closed up in the summertime.
Not the case anymore.
Exactly. The one thing that I love about Brevard County, see, I've already got them confused. It's so easy to say Broward when you mean Brevard, is the fact that when you're driving up here, I used to say it's against the law to honk your horn as a joke, but I think people took it to heart. You seldom hear anyone honk their horn. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, up here in Brevard,
yes,
it's much more relaxed, much more laid back. I still go down to my Pompano office in the Fort Lauderdale area, and I go down once a week, and every week I get caught in traffic, and you hear the horns blaring, and you see the road rage,
right.
And then I can't wait to come home to Brevard, where it's, again, much more relaxed. I cruise along A1A and, just happy-go-lucky until I get home.
Exactly. So many people that I know that still live down there, they're looking for an escape. They want to leave, but they don't know where to go. And I say to them, come up to Brevard County because it reminds me a lot of Broward County back in the 70s, the 60s, even the early 80s, where you'd really still had that low-keyed, slow-moving. It wasn't, we're not shuffling. We're not that slow, but it's not that road rage, as you say. So that's kind of the difference between Brevard and Broward County, and we're happy to be here and happy to help people find their new dream home in a dream community. And I think we have Ray Campbell on the line right now, who is with Great Florida Insurance Company. Ray, are you with us?
Yes, hello, Jean. Hello, John.
Hello, Ray. Welcome back to the show.
How you guys been?
We're good.
Oh, good.
We want to talk a little bit about the insurance companies as well as Florida insurance. I know you've been on other shows with us, and you're a wealth of information. In fact, one of the things we're going to talk about is that storm box or storm window around Florida when there's a storm brewing. And in fact, you and I had that happen to us just a couple weeks ago with a closing. But let's first talk about your business and the difference between you're a insurance broker as opposed to an agent for one particular company.
Right, yeah, we're an independent agency, and the advantage of that versus being a captive agent, like a State Farm or an Allstate or Nationwide, we're able to write with other companies' products, so we might have 30 to 40 different companies that we can pick and choose from to get our customers the best possible coverage at the lowest possible rate, and it works out great for us because, not everybody is the same, put in the same cookie cutter. We need to have options for our customers, and by being an independent agent, it just broadens our ability to find the proper coverage for that individual.
Right. Ray, do you find that different insurance companies have different niches? So, for example, Allstate is Allstate, but if you have somebody beachside, you might put them with one company, whereas if they're mainland with another, and if they're on a golf course with a third, are there niche businesses like that?
Right. Every different company will have different guidelines on what areas they wish to insure in. Let's say out of our 20 homeowners companies, we might have 6 or 7 companies that will write on the beach side. And I know most of the captive agents that I talk to aren't able to write on the beach side, along that line, where, like I said, we'll have, 6 or 7 different companies that will write beachside properties, either single-family homes or condos, townhouses. So that helps us out immensely when we get a call from our realtor friends looking to get some help with their clients. We're able to secure them a policy without any problem.
And right now, before we get into it any further, go ahead and give out your phone number and your email address in case there's someone out there that says, I'd like to get some more information from Ray.
Oh, sure. I appreciate that. Yeah, they can reach us at Great Florida Insurance. We have a Palm Bay and a Melbourne location. Our Palm Bay office number is area code 321-241-4881. And our Melbourne location phone number is 321-241-4880. And I can be reached by email as well at Ray, and it's REY .Campbell, CAMPBELL at greatflorida.com. And that Great Florida is spelled out completely.
So that's Ray with an E and Campbell like the soup.
Exactly. Yep. With a dot between the Ray and the Campbell. Yeah. Wish I was related to the soup company, and you probably wouldn't be able to talk to me. I'd be out on my yacht somewhere.
Well, I do love the web domain of greatflorida.com because that's how we feel about the state of Florida.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, one other thing a lot of people don't realize is you can have an insurance company. A lot of people are dedicated to their insurance company because their parents had that insurance company. It's all of a sudden the kids have the same insurance company, and it's just sort of one of those product.
Inertia.
Pardon me?
It's inertia.
Yeah,
you
get
right. Stuck with the same people.
But all of a sudden, they get dropped for no reason because there are certain limitations on these estate farms and the Allstate and so forth that they can't sell more than a certain amount in a certain area. Isn't that correct?
Right. Once some companies will reach their limitation in a specific zip code, and then we have to search out to other companies, and that will continue to write in that zip code. But yeah, especially some companies will monitor if they're